So good day, class. For today's topic is about biochemistry, the chemistry of life. So in this slide, you can see we have a cell, and in the right side there's a bag. Okay. So if we're going to analyze it or compare it, we can say that cells can be thought of as bags of chemicals, because the cell membranes, the structure itself of the cell, are made up of chemicals. Okay, and every function a cell performs, from generating energy to reproducing and repairing itself, is the result of complex chemical interactions. From this idea, okay, so we have this foundation of biochemistry. Okay, so when we say biochemistry, it is the branch of science that explores the chemical composition, structure, and reactions that occur within living organisms. So biochemistry bridges biology and chemistry, focusing on biomolecules such as proteins, nucleic acid, lipids, carbohydrates, as well as some micronutrients like vitamins, hormones, and energy molecules like ATP. So in this discussion, we will focus on carbohydrates, lipids, the fats and oils, proteins, and the nucleic acid, the DNA and RNA. So let's start with carbohydrates. So carbohydrates are important biomolecules composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen in general ratio of 1:2:1. Usually it is represented as CH2O. And carbohydrates are molecules, okay, the primary source of energy, and its role is give energy in our body. So example of carbohydrates are as follow. So we have monosaccharides, the glucose, the fructose, disaccharides, sucrose, lactose, maltose, and the polysaccharides, the starch, cellulose, and glycogen. So monosaccharides are known as the simplest form of carbohydrates, or we can say also that it is simple sugars. Mono, the word mono means one, comes from the Greek word, okay, and saccharon, okay, means sugar. So these monosaccharides are composed of a single sugar unit, and they have only one ring structure. Example of these monosaccharides, so we have triose, pentose, hexose. Those are carbon atoms have 3, 5, 6 carbon atoms respectively. And take note, the most biological important monosaccharides is glucose, C6H12O6, and this glucose can exist in a straight chain form or a ring form. Okay, let me use this laser. Okay, so here's the list of monosaccharide. Okay, common form of monosaccharides. So it depends on the number of atoms. So triose, it has 3 atoms, tetrose 4, pentose 5, hexose 6, heptose 7, octose 8, nonose 9. So as you can see, the prefix changes, okay, corresponds to its number of atoms. So as what is stated earlier, so glucose has a different form. Okay, it could be straight chain, and also it could be in a ring form. Okay, alpha and beta. Next, disaccharides. So disaccharides are the double ring carbohydrates formed by the combination of 2 monosaccharides molecules. So di, the word di means 2, and this refers to two sugar units that make up these components. In this disaccharide, in this disaccharide, it involves two kind of reaction. So the first one, we have this dehydration reaction. So as you can see here in my illustration, this moving illustration, you have two we have a monosaccharide, two monosaccharide with water involved, and when you remove water, these two saccharides join together, and that process is called glycosidic bond. Again, so in dehydration synthesis, we have this given two monosaccharides, and there's a water. If you remove the water, so that's the dehydration synthesis or reaction. So if you remove water, the two monosaccharides will join together, and that process is called glycosidic bond. Next, so the opposite of this process, is called hydrolysis. So if you have these disaccharides, and you added a water molecule on it with the help of a specific enzyme, these two monosaccharides will break apart, or will split into two. And usually this process happens during digestion and absorption of carbohydrates in living organism. Example of disaccharides, so we have sucrose, also known as the table sugar. It is made of glucose and fructose. Usually it is found in sugarcane, sugar beets, and maple sugar. Next, lactose, known as milk sugar, made from glucose and galactose, usually found in milk and dairy products. Some individuals, take note that some individuals who lack the enzyme lactase cannot digest lactose properly, and this results to lactose intolerance. Next, maltose. Maltose, it is also known as malt sugar. It is made from glucose and glucose, combination of two, commonly formed during the digestion of starch. Usually this maltose is also found from honey. Next, so we have polysaccharides. So polysaccharides, when we say polysaccharides, from the word itself, poly, so it has many saccharides involved. So polysaccharides are carbohydrates composed of many monosaccharide units, which is true. So, and this is joined together, creating a large molecules known as polymers. And these polymers, if you're going to analyze these polymers, those are molecules with repeating subunits or repeating monosaccharides connected to each other. Some polysaccharides are so large and complex that they are insoluble in water. They cannot be break down with water. However, in the presence of specific enzymes or acid, they can undergo hydrolysis. Again, so those enzymes or acids are catalysts that activate that, or let's say they usually lower the activation energy, so that the process of hydrolysis can be performed. So example of polysaccharides include glycogen, starch, cellulose, and chitin. So starch usually found in tomatoes, glycogen in liver, cellulose in plants, chitin in fungi or any exoskeleton, exoskeleton. Yes. So what are the functions of polysaccharides? So first one, we have energy. It is for energy storage. So in animals, glucose is stored in the form of glycogen, primarily in the liver and muscle. In plants, glucose is stored as starch found in roots, tubers like potatoes, seeds, and vegetables. For some algae, it is stored as starch, and certain bacteria contains glycogen also, or glycogen granules to be specific, for use, and it is used as a reserve nutrient supply. Next, polysaccharide is used for structural support. In bacteria, the polysaccharide is used to create a cell wall, because this cell wall is made of essential macromolecule called peptidoglycan. 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 Sorry. So this macromolecules is composed of repeating disaccharide units. And again, when we say repeating disaccharide units or monosaccharide units, we are pertaining to polysaccharides. Next, cellulose. Okay, the cellulose usually found in the cell walls of plants and algae, and this cellulose provides support, shape, and protection. Another thing, this cellulose is insoluble in water, and it's indigestible to human. So whenever you eat, you are eating. And so if you're aware of fiber is a cellulose. So fiber fiber is indigestible. It cannot be absorbed by our body, and usually it is just removed in our body through feces. Next, chitin. So chitin is a strong nitrogen containing polysaccharides, and usually it is seen from fungal cell walls and protective exoskeleton of arthropods. So we're done with carbohydrates, the first macromolecules that we discussed. Next, let's proceed to lipids. So when we say lipids, it is also a biomolecule, and it is generally insoluble in water, but soluble in nonpolar solvents such as either chloroform and benzene. So these lipids are essential components of nearly all living things because it plays a role of energy storage, cell membrane structure, and cell signaling. So under this lipid, we have this different types of categories. So we have fatty acids, waxes, fats and oils, phospholipids, glycolipids, steroids, prostaglandins, and leukotrienes. So let's start with fatty acids. So these fatty acids are long-chain carboxylic acid that serve as the basic structural units or building blocks of lipids. Again, they are insoluble in water due to their long nonpolar hydrocarbon chains, and its important role is for energy storage, hormone production, cell membrane integrity, and overall metabolic function. So we have these different types of fatty acids. So first one, we have saturated fatty acid. It is a type of fatty acid that contains only a single bond between carbon atoms. It is typically solid at room temperature and found in animal fats, butter, and some dairy products. So these fatty acids can be also found in fast food restaurant, like burgers, pizza, fries. Yeah. As long as there's a frying that happen in your food, and you know that the oil used was already saturated because it is repeatedly used, so expect that there will be a high content of saturated fatty acid on your food. Though they provide energy, The excessive intake of these saturated fats is linked to increased cholesterol levels and higher risk of cardiovascular disease. Just to make you some, just to give you some idea, these saturated fatty acids are, again, from the word itself, saturated. It is already saturated enough that you can that even your body sometimes can't handle to break it down. So what organ is responsible for breaking fatty acids? So you have your gallbladder, your liver. Okay. And if you're too much eating fatty acids, especially these saturated ones, so tendency you can get gallstones, stones in liver, or yeah. So eat moderately, or as much as possible. Prevent eating this type of fatty acid or type of food. Next, monounsaturated fatty acid. So this contains one double bond in their carbon chain. So the sources of this fatty acid include olive oil, avocados, peanuts, and butter. It is considered as heart healthy fats because they help reduce bad cholesterol, the low density level cholesterol, and it maintains good cholesterol, the high density level cholesterol. Okay, class. We have two types of cholesterol. The first one we have low density, and the other one is high density. As much as possible, we prevent this type of cholesterol, the low density one. And cholesterol actually are not bad as long as you have a high level density of cholesterol, because high level density of cholesterol can handle your body. Okay. Those low density cholesterol usually causes clogging in your veins. Yeah. Next, we have polyunsaturated fatty acids. So this type of acids have two or more double bonds, usually found in soybeans, sunflower oil, corn oil, and fatty acids. And it is essential for brain function, inflammation regulation, and cell repair. It includes omega-3, omega-6 fatty acids, which are particularly beneficial in our heart. Yes, heart. So it is somehow similar with mono unsaturated. The difference is that their structure. Last one, we have this essential fatty acid. These are polyunsaturated fatty acids that cannot be synthesized by the human body. This type of essential fatty acid, the polyunsaturated fatty acids, those are acids that cannot be produced naturally by your body, so you need to intake it through your diet, through eating fish, nuts, seeds, and vegetable oils. And again, it's essential for brain development, immune function, and cardiovascular health. Next type of lipid, so we have waxes. So waxes are type of lipid composed of saturated fatty acid bonded to a long chain alcohol. Its purpose is to provide a critical protective function in both plants and animals. So in plants, the purpose of waxes is to form a protective coating on fruits, leaves, and stems to prevent water loss, and it offers defense against pests and environmental damage. So as you can see, some plants, if you touch their leaves or stems, you feel there's a slippery texture. Those are waxes. Okay. Next, we have animals and birds. So they also have waxes coated in their skin, fur, and feathers. And these waxes provide a waterproof barrier and also thermoregulation and moisture retention. So in short, the purpose of waxes in animals and birds is to regulate your temperature and thermal regulation. Another thing, we have this special type of waxes derived from sheep's wool. Okay, it is called lanolin. Lanolin. Okay. And it is widely used in hand and body lotions for its ability to retain skin moisture and soften dry skin. So it is an application of this wax in our cosmetic industry. Lanolin. Next type of lipids, so we have fats and oil. So this fats and oil actually is somehow similar to fatty acids, but the difference is that it is composed of one glycerol molecule and 3 fatty acid chain. And these fats and oil are also known as triglycerides. Right? And usually, this triglycerides is it is the efficient form or highly efficient form of energy storage. So let us define this term. So fats, when we say fats, it is a solid at room temperature and mostly derived from animal sources like meat fat, butter, cheese, and whole milk. Oils, so those are liquid at room temperature, typically derived from plant sources. We have 2 types of oils. The first one, we have monounsaturated oils, the olive oil and peanut oil, example of that. Another thing is we have polyunsaturated oils. The sources are corn oil, cottonseed oil, safflower oil, and sunflower oil. Please note that the fats and oil, okay, when it comes to nutritional roles, okay, it provides energy, supply essential fatty acids, and carry fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin A, D, E, and K. Phospholipids. So phospholipids, another type of lipids. So there are a special class of lipids that play a critical role in forming cell membranes. Each phospholipid molecule is composed of glycerol, fatty acids, and phosphate group, and an alcohol. So in short, these phospholipids are the cell membranes. So looking at this illustration, this blue image, blue spherical shape, right, with tail. As we have tail here, and those are phospholipids. So major types of phospholipids, so for the first one, we have glycerophospholipids, also known as phosphoglycerides. It contains glycerol, fatty acids, a phosphate group, and an alcohol. They are the most abundant lipids in the cell membranes, and it plays a key role in forming the lipid bilayer structure. So these are glycerophospholipids. Okay. Sphingolipids, the second one. So it contains an 18-carbon alcohol called sphingosine instead of glycerol, found predominantly in brain and nerve tissues. A major component is sphingomyelin, which helps form the myelin sheath that insulates nerve cells. So these sphingolipids are types of phospholipid that found in brain and nerve tissue. So what is the purpose of phospholipids in cell membranes? So again, our cell membranes is primarily composed of lipid bilayer formed by phospholipids. and this serves as a selective barrier that regulates the movement of substance into and out of the cells. So this phospholipid bilayer arrangement, so we have two kind of arrangement. So the first one, we have a hydrophobic tail, this gray part, and this hydrophobic tail, it faces inward away from water. So in short, those, from the word itself, hydrophobic, so they fear water. Okay, next, hydrophilic heads. So these blue spheres, since they are hydrophilic, they love water, and it faces outward toward the aqueous environment, okay? Inside and outside the cell. So the blue ones, again, the blue ones are the hydrophilic heads, and the gray ones are the hydrophobic tails. Next type of lipids, so we have glycolipids. So glycolipids are complex lipids that consist of glycerol, two fatty acids, and one or more monosaccharides. Usually they are abundant in the brain and in the myelin sheath of nerve cells, and its role is usually in nerve function and cell communication. So here in the illustration, this pink or peach colored structure is the glycolipid. Another thing, this glycolipid it serves as antigen in our surface of red blood cells. So when we say antigen, it triggers immune response if there's a mismatch during transfusion, usually, or if there's a foreign cells or foreign object inside of our body. So since it is an antigen, so it triggers immune response from it. Next type of lipids, so we have steroids. So steroids are a class of lipids characterized by their complex structure of 4 interconnected carbon rings. Just like lipids, they are hydrophobic and insoluble in water. So let's proceed in types of steroids and its functions. So first one, we have cholesterol, and this cholesterol is found in cell membranes, the myelin sheaths, and brain and nerve tissues, and its function is to maintain membrane fluidity and stability. So more on hydration, okay, homeostasis. Next, we have bile salts. So this bile salts is synthesized in the liver from cholesterol. Okay, whenever you are digesting cholesterol, so this liver, so the function of your liver will produce bile salts, and those excess bile salts will be stored in gallbladder, and once you're digesting fats, or let's say cholesterol, yeah, so those bile salts will be used, okay, for digestion and absorption of that fat. Okay, so next type, we have fat soluble vitamins. So this includes vitamins A, D, E, and K, and the function of those vitamins is for vision, for bone health, antioxidant defense, and blood clotting, respectively. Another type is steroid hormones. So for regulating hormones, for male sex hormones, so steroids can be used for increase of testosterone, androtestosterone. For female sex hormones, for estrogens and progesterone. And also we have adrenal cortisol or corticosteroids. Okay? Usually this type of hormones regulates metabolism, stress response, and electrolyte balance. So yeah, these steroids, again, these steroids can be gained from natural like foods, and some can be injected. Okay, next type of lipids. Okay, so we have these prostaglandins and leukotrienes. So those are bioactive lipids. Okay, and then basically those lipids are act as local signaling molecules. So these prostaglandins, it acts as mediator of hormonal activity. Also, it regulates blood pressure. It involves inflammatory responses. So whenever there's a foreign bacteria or cells enter your body, so it triggers these inflammatory responses. Whenever you are hurt, also this includes inflammatory responses. Also, it is responsible for causing fever and pain. So, like what I said earlier, whenever there's a foreign cells enters your body, so the one way your body will respond is by increasing your temperature, because your body, some of the foreign cells are obliterated, or let's say they're making themselves weak when the surroundings are, or when the environment are in high temperature. So your body tends to increase its temperature. Next, so we have this leukotrienes. So primarily it is produced by leukocytes, or the white blood cells. So so to give you some idea, these white blood cells responsible to defend other cells, and it is found in other tissues. Yes, you can find it is usually blended with your other cells, red blood cells. And its role is for immune response and inflammation. So those bioactive lipids, the prostaglandins and leukotrienes, okay, so in short, they are responsible for this immune response of your body, and signaling, telling that there's a problem inside your body. Next, macromolecule, type of macromolecule. So we have this protein, and it is said that protein is the substance of life. It is essential because its function is to build your muscle. Okay, so all proteins are polymer of amino acids, and it is linked together by peptide bonds. So okay, and this protein, it varies in length, in sequence of amino acid, creative structure, and biological function. So we have these functions of protein. So again, this protein serves as structural components of membrane, cells, and tissues in building your body, tissues, cells, and also it produces enzymes that catalyze the biochemical reactions that happens in your body, usually in digestion. Okay. Next, it functions as hormones also to regulate metabolic activities. Okay, it supports hormonal functions in your body, and also it plays roles in immune systems, transportation, and cell signaling. So somehow it is similar with other macromolecules, but the function of this protein is almost broad. Okay. So it is mentioned earlier the amino acids, right? So this protein is composed of amino acids. Okay, so these amino acids is referred as the building blocks of protein, and also this amino acid is linked by peptide bonds, forming a long chain which is called polypeptides. So again, we have amino acids. Amino acids is like, it is a building blocks of protein, and each amino acid are linked by peptide, and that process is called peptide bonds or peptide bonding. So once this amino acid form a long chain, okay, so it is now called polypeptides. So a total of 23 amino acids are found in proteins. 20 are primary proteins, or primary amino acids rather, and 3 are secondary amino acids. So when we say secondary amino acids, they are derived from the primary ones. And when we say primary acids, amino acids, they are naturally occurring amino acids. Each amino acids contains carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and some contains sulfur. Again, mainly our amino acids contains carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and some of those amino acids contains sulfur, but not all. Okay, we have also this term, essential amino acids. This type of amino acids can be synthesized by the human body and must be obtained from the diet or from what we are eating. Okay, so in other terms, so we have this non-essential amino acids, meaning in opposite, it can be synthesized by your body. Okay. So take note, okay. So this essential amino acid and non-essential amino acids are both essentials, okay, are both needed for protein synthesis. So here's the name of amino acids. So we have 23 in total. So this one indicates that this amino acid is a primary acid. This letter E indicates that this is an essential amino acid, and this two means that it is considered a secondary amino acid. So feel free to post this video and then remember this part. Okay, next, so we have protein structure. So we have amino acids, okay, amino acids that are joined together, it is called peptide bonding, forming a chemical long chain which is polypeptides. Okay, and this process, okay, this process of joining together of amino acids is called dehydration synthesis. Okay, so similar with the process that it's mentioned in the carbohydrates. Okay, so water molecules removed, and then these amino acids combined together, and that bonding, okay, that joining of amino acids is called peptide bond. Okay, so if there's a two amino acid that joins together, okay, it is called dipeptide. If there are three, so that is tripeptide. And if more than 3, okay, so that is polypeptide. As for the structure, protein structure, so we have this primary protein structure, and it refers to the linear sequence of amino acid, straight, linear, vertical, like that. So here's the following protein structures. So we have this primary structure, this one, long chain. Secondary structure, a helix. Okay, it's like a sine wave. Next, tertiary structure. So we have globular. Okay, this one. And quaternary structure, so this one, it is like tertiary structure, but it is multiple, it is combined with structure. So anyway, so let's proceed to enzymes. So again, proteins is responsible for making enzymes also. So when we say enzymes, okay, it is protein molecules produced by living cells, okay, guided by instructions encoded in the genes. And take note, enzymes serves as biological catalysts, meaning they speed up metabolic reactions without being consumed in the process. So when we say catalyst, it lowers the activation energy needed to perform the process. Okay? So with the help of enzyme, again, it lowers the activation energy. The activation energy, or the required energy in order to perform the specific process or specific function. Okay. Examples of enzymes. So we have catalyst, this one, okay. So feel free to search each of those terms. So if you want to further know something about these enzymes, but again, I'm just showing you the enzymes, okay, made from the proteins. Next type of macromolecules. So we have nucleic acid. So in this nucleic acid, it includes DNA, the deoxyribonucleic acid, and RNA, the ribonucleic acid. And it's considered the fourth major group of biomolecules found in all living cells. And this nucleic acid composed of elements carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and phosphorus. So DNA, okay, DNA is the hereditary molecule carrying the genetic code. Okay, its function is for the structure of your every cell. Okay, structure. It has, again, its purpose is for the structure of your cell, because majority of the DNA, okay, majority of the DNA composed of your chromosomes, your genes. Okay. Next, we have the RNA, and its role is for translating the genetic information from the DNA. Translating. So later on, we will discuss these types of RNA. Okay. So yeah. As for the structure of this nucleic acid, so let's start with defining the nucleotides. Okay, the nucleotides are the building blocks of the nucleic acids, and the component of these nucleotides are as follow. We have the nitrogenous base, the pentose sugar, and the phosphate group. Okay, and the difference of this RNA and DNA is this pentose sugar, the component, this one, because in DNA it contains deoxyribose, and in RNA it composes ribose. Again, this deoxyribose and ribose are the pentose sugar. Okay, pentose sugar. Okay. Also, when it comes to the nitrogenous bases, the DNA has adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. And as for the RNA, okay, it also has adenine, cytosine, guanine, but instead of having thymine, actually it's thymine, okay, thymine, it is replaced by uracil. So in short, uracil is only found in RNA. Okay. So we have these three main types of RNA. So the first one, we have messenger RNA, or mRNA in short. its role is to carry genetic information from DNA to ribosomes. Okay. Next, ribosomal RNA, or rRNA in short. So it forms the structural and functional components of ribosomes. Okay. And yeah, it assembles the amino acids into proteins. Okay. Next type, we have this transfer RNA, or tRNA, and it is responsible for delivering specific amino acids to the ribosomes during protein synthesis. Okay, so it ensures the correct sequence, okay, forming when making, or yeah, again, it ensures the correct sequence is formed on the during protein synthesis. So here's an illustration of our nucleic acid. Okay. So DNA, there are two pairs. Okay, as you can see, there are two pairs here, and in RNA it has a half pair. And nitrogenous bases in DNA, so we have adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. And as for the nitrogenous bases in RNA, okay, it is somehow similar with DNA, but instead of having thymine, it has uracil. Okay, and for the pentose sugar, so DNA has deoxyribose, and in RNA it has ribose. Sorry, okay. Next, so DNA replication. Okay, so this protein, its purpose is for DNA replication. As you can see, we are dealing with DNA and RNA, right? So when we say DNA replication, it is the process by which a cell makes an exact copy of its DNA before it divides. So before performing cell division, okay, there's a DNA replication that happens first. Okay, and take note of this. We have the special enzyme called DNA polymerase, DNA polymerase, which helps to add new nucleotides and checks that everything is copied correctly. Okay. So here's an illustration, okay, of DNA replication. So originally we have just DNA, and then it started to so we have T, thymine, adenine, guanine, cytosine. Yeah, they are having pairs, okay, having pairs. And then in this process of DNA replication, those pairs, okay, split apart, and then a new pair will be attached to the old or the splitted part, okay, to the old ones. So this will be the new pair of DNA. So that will be all. Okay, thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something new today.